On this Industrial Talk News, we're celebrating a couple of new sponsors. We're also talking about tip of the hat moment. We got to celebrate those people. Books you need to read, especially the one that actually spoke to my heart. Talking podcasts. We're talking cool marketing tools. Never stop learning moment. Of course, food, leadership, events, much more. Let's get cracking. Hi there and welcome, and thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk News. As you know, Industrial Talk is all about education, industrial education. We're also about collaborating. We're also definitely about innovation. We're going to highlight all of these elements as we continue to go forward. We have 15 minutes or less. That's what LinkedIn requires. So we're going to try to cover as much as we possibly can in this segment. So we're going to highlight a couple of new sponsors that you need to be aware of. The first one is Caddy Time, CADDYTIME.com. Now you go out to the website and it looks good. Great start, huh? Great start. And it says upgrade your game. I like golf. If you like golf, this is an app for you. The app is at the App Store and, of course, Google Play. But what makes it so special? Well, the ability to be able to say, okay, I need a caddy. I want that caddy to be able to, whatever the reason is. I want that caddy to help me improve my golf game. Boom. You go there. You find the right caddy at the course that you're going to be at. You schedule that, right? If that individual shows up, knows exactly what to expect, that's what's important. That's what caddy. But what if I want a caddy to be just sort of there to help me a little bit, but to provide some concierge type service, like, hey, go and get some food, whatever it might be, make my golf experience, maybe I'm doing some business on the golf course. Caddy Time also helps you with that. It's simple. Click, find that caddy that you need at that particular time at that golf course. Boom. Fantastic. That's Caddy Time. That is the official. Now, Caddy Time is the official golf, application for Industrial Talk. I have no other way to put it, but Caddy Time. CADDYTIME. What time is it? Yep, Caddy Time. The other sponsor that gets me all tingly and giddy is NEOM. You go out to NEOM.com. Now, what NEOM, they have a bold vision. They have a bold vision of creating the community of the future, right? A sustainable community of the future. They're putting their money where their mouth is in the innovation and technology that's out there. You go out to neom.com, you look at their website, you root around. It's all out there, right? Boom, there it is. I'm looking at it. And you will be amazed at what the future through NEOM and how they are impacting the world and changing the world for the better. That's neom.com. All right. Now on to the tip of the hat moment. This is the time when I just say, hey, cool stuff, cool things happening out there. Somebody's bettering the community. So the one that is just like this low-hanging fruit, right, is Inspiration 4. Now, if you haven't gone out there, you can go to Inspiration 4, SpaceX project, the first all-civilian mission to orbit. I was in California last week, and I was sitting there. I was watching the launch, and it's exciting. It is very, very, I don't know, it's just so future and so attainable, right? And so and inspiring. And that this particular effort, right, the ability to put 4 people in space, have them circle it for 3 days, and then bring them home safely, to me, that's a watershed event. But I mean, it's an amazing time to be alive. And you have, SpaceX, you have Inspiration 4, you have what is taking place there. I mean, you go out to their website, Inspiration 4, and the photos are just absolutely spectacular. We've got to be about learning more. We've got to be every day learn. Every day, make that commitment. You go out here and you could sit there and say, well, what was the capsule like? Find out what the capsule was like. All of that stuff is just absolutely spectacular. So, tip of the hat. Thank you, SpaceX. Thank you, Inspiration 4. And they raised funds big funds for the St. Jude's for these kids. How about that? Boy, that is absolutely great stuff. All right. Again, we're all about education. Again, we're all about, and I encourage you to talk to do more learning each and every day, just a little bit here and there, nothing fancy. And then for me, I'm living the dream because I'm able to be with wonderful people each and every day, interview them, learn from them, and I might not be an expert, but I'm constantly, because of the platform, and you can too. It's not just me. I'm just sort of this conduit. You could take this learning journey on with you, right? So the one that is sort of, okay. So I'm out in California. I'm interviewing some people, and one of the individuals that I had the great honor of interviewing, her name is Shannon Lucas. Now, the podcast is going to be out. I don't have a real timeline on it, but incredible. And I'm nothing short of incredible. But we're going to talk about her book. Her book is called The Catalyst Guide of Working Well. Now, if you don't like cuss words, put your earmuffs on, but don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Move fast, break shit, burn out. And that is from both Tracy Lovejoy as well as Shannon Lucas. Now, what are you saying? You're saying, Scott, what does that mean? Where is it going? Well, a catalyst, as she put it, is just like an individual that is constantly searching for innovative solution. They just can't stop, right? This individual is just like, how do we do it better? What do we do? How do we continue to push forward? And they don't sleep, and they just constantly push, and see opportunities that many don't see. That is a catalyst. Of course, I'm not doing that justice because you got to do it in the book or see the book. I'm going to have a link to it out here on this particular news. But when I was reading the first section, now it's part of my electronic books library, it made sense to me. It spoke to my heart. And if you find yourself constantly pushing, constantly desiring more innovation, and keep on moving forward, I highly recommend this book. Move Fast, Break Shit, Burn Out. Out on Amazon. The author is Shannon Lucas. Podcast to follow, a couple of weeks possibly. You'll be informed, definitely, in the industrial news. Now, for a podcast, this was a really great interview. It's out there now. It is on industrialtalk.com, and it is her name is Sahar Ehsani, and she is the senior segment manager lead of discrete manufacturing. And what we've talked about, which is really pretty cool, and you're saying to yourself, okay, what is discrete manufacturing? Well, we defined that, as well as AI, machine vision, and sustainability, and how those components work together. And what is really great about this is the fact that we can learn from experts in this field. It is open. It is available. It is an opportunity to truly grow and to learn and to be able to proceed forward to the next level, which is pretty cool. Now, don't get me wrong. It's cool, doggone stuff. So just, make a note of that. Sahar Ehsani with Intel, right? She's with Intel. And man, we were talking AI, we were talking about machine vision as well as sustainability. Great conversation. Her stat card's just off the frickin' chart. That's for doggone sure. I'm in marketing. I always want to know tools and techniques to be able to make my job easier, make it more effective, get more information out there, the content, whatever it might be. I use a product called Social Jukebox, and I highly recommend that at least look into Social Jukebox. And the reason for that is that it's a posting randomizer, right? And it can hit LinkedIn, of course, Facebook, and Twitter. And it just keeps your content. You can have a RSS feed to it, and it just keeps filling it up with content and puts it out there on a randomizer. And so your content, because I know that content becomes a little stale sometimes, it keeps things fresh, right? It keeps things moving and fresh. That's Social Jukebox. Find it out. That's Jukebox. Now, I'm into food. And out there on Industrial Talk, I did a series right before the hurricane, red beans and rice, right? Red beans and rice, classic, go out there, fun. And by the way, they were fantastic. Article, and I'm speeding up just because I've got an article here by Inc. Warren Buffett says you should practice the 4 habits that separate best from the rest. Okay, I did that. Here are the 4, and I'll have this link. Master the practice of boundaries, right? The quote is, the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Important. Number 2, invest in your personal development. Cannot minimize that. Come on. Industrial Talk, Industrial Academy, the individuals that are out there. Invest in your personal development each and every day. Model the leadership behavior of the best managers. Find those individuals. Reflect upon how they lead. What are they doing? Mimic that. And then finally, build a positive reputation. Automatic, right? You want to establish trust, transparency, and fairness. All of this will be out on Industrial Talk. Important to be able to see. Finally, we've got an event, right? It's Intel Innovations, and it is October 27th to 28th. And I'll have the link out there. Consider attending. It's going to be a pretty nice, well-attended event. So anyway, that is Industrial Talk News. Wrapped it up. It's about 11 minutes, 12 minutes. Anyway, thank you very much for joining. Remember, Caddy Time, NEOM, Tip of the Hat, Inspiration 4. Get that book. Listen to that podcast. Always continue to learn. Thank you very much for joining. We're going to come back next week with another news segment.